I mean, you've been on stages with 10, 20,000 people. You've built an organization of hundreds of thousands of people. Your team has been paid $500 million, like cash, that you've helped, individuals change their life, me included. But I also remember some of the lean times, some of those moments. What would you say was one of the most pivotal moments in your life back before all of the success?
One of the pivotal moments for me is when Darnell was still trying to figure out being an entrepreneur. So I was working at Black Entertainment Television, and I got up for work and walked out the door, and my car wasn't out there. And I ran back in the house and I said, "Babe, somebody stole my car." And he was just sitting there. And I was like, "Babe," and I'm frantic. I was like, "Someone stole my car. What do we do?" And he said, "No one stole your car." And I said, I was so confused. And he said, "It's been repossessed." Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience, guys.
This is not the Self-Talk Experience. You already know that this is the We Won't Quit podcast episode.
You're actually on the set of the Self-Talk Experience.
Because you told me the only way I can get an interview is if I came to...
We were coming all the way over there.
Wow.
Anyway,
guys.
Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience, guys, where the things you say to yourself about yourself make a man or woman not quit.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the We Won't Quit podcast. As you can see, I am on location. I am in studio with the Darnell and Traci Self of the Self-Talk Experience.
Honored, man.
It's called a collab.
It's a collab.
That's what we're doing.
It is a collab. Collab. How you say that?
Collab.
I said that. That's what I said.
Collaboration.
Listen, can you guys just please
we can do this
get
all
to
day
the
long.
podcast?
Listen, We Won't Quit podcast where, look, I was about to say the things you say to yourself.
I love it.
About yourself. But that
love
is
it.
not it. Where you get the chance to hear from some incredible people who embody my quote. That is see, I can't even talk now.
It is impossible to stop a man or woman who will not quit.
Thank you.
I always have your back every
Always,
time.
man. Always. And that is why I'm so excited to be in studio and have a chance to get questions answered by the Darnell and Traci Self.
Oh, well.
You guys
know?
ask so many questions and get a chance to communicate with each other, but never has anyone sat down with the both of you on their podcast. And
That's true. That's true.
How does that make you feel that you're the first person to be in this position?
I'm trying to figure out who else would be in the seat. Who else could be in the seat? Don't answer that.
I won't.
What's your first question, sir?
First question for the audience. Seriously, having, obviously folks know the relationship, or maybe some don't, that we've known each other for 26, 27, 25 years. I don't know. How many years have we known each other?
When I met you, I was expecting, and that child was about to be 26.
Wow. So yes.
Wow.
So more than half of my life.
Wow.
It's amazing. And
Dang,
so
I didn't realize it was that long. With
Really?
the league is 26 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost.
This is the first time he came over. I remember meeting him.
Wow.
Yeah, she gave me some goat's milk lotion after I washed my hands.
My expensive lotion.
You did. It was very expensive. My hands were ashy.
Listen, let me just say this right up front in this episode. I'm sorry. I apologize because with these two, I had no idea what's going to come out their mouth. We're talking about goat lotion right now. Maybe that has something to do with We Won't Quit, and maybe it has something to do with self-talk, but I'm not sure. But I promise you, if you stick around for just another 60 seconds, it's going to mean something because they're such great storytellers, as you know. Somehow goat's milk will come out in a story.
Absolutely. We're going to wrap that back around. So tell the audience, tell the We Won't Quit family and the Self-Talk Experience family how Darnell and Traci Self met.
Your version or my version?
You can tell your version, and I'll stop you when you start lying.
Listen, we just had an episode about transparency and who tells a partial truth and a partial lie. That one, T-Self, for those who are listening. All right, so we were working at the mall together. I was going to Bowie State. She was going to Morgan State. No, I was going to University of Maryland at the time. And I was working at a mall, at a store in the mall.
And I was working at the mall, but in a different store.
Okay.
I didn't know that. So you were actually already working at the mall.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I was. I was working at the mall. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And she walked past the store. You were with your sister, though, at the
was.
time. And she peeped in the store, and I was there, doing my thing, folding shirts. You know what I mean? Just
how do you fold shirts, babe?
I've never seen anybody do an LL Cool J fold.
Anyway,
Do an LL
she
Cool
looked
J
in the
fold.
store and she said, "That man is fine. I'm about to get a job in there." And I came into the job to apply.
And I got the job and I got the man.
Wow.
There
I
you go.
did.
See, I did a good job telling the story.
You did. That's how we met.
Yep, that's how we met. So
He
we
fired me a couple times because he was a manager. Got my job
So why
back.
would he fire you though?
No, hold on. Before that, we were friends for a long time because she used to ask me advice for a boyfriend.
What?
Yes. So she had a boyfriend.
Did you give good advice?
I thought he was, but now he admits that he wasn't.
No, I was
I
like,
thought he was
"Nah,
really
you
my
gotta drop
friend."
that zero.
I thought he was really my friend.
You fell for that.
I did.
Wow.
I think I wanted to fall for it.
Yeah. So then we started dating, then we got married, and that's when I fired her. We were already married when I fired her.
Yeah.
So when you say fire, did you like, because I know she went from maternity leave to eternity leave. So when you say you fired, is that another acronym for retired or?
No. This was
fired.
way before that. This was
Yeah.
way
Oh, so you
before
really
that.
was just firing her, huh?
Yeah. Because she was a cashier, so she's behind the counter. I'm the manager. So
I can see everything because the cash stand is a high up, so I can see everything that's happening.
And I could tell from that face what you were seeing.
Yeah,
Because I remember the store. It's a very.
You remember the store.
It's a high-end store.
Yeah.
And
It's
so these twins were in there who went to Howard University. And never forget
Don't
it.
smile, bro. Whatever you do.
Oh,
don't
no.
smile.
I'm
Why
smiling
would you
right
say
now.
you'll never forget it? Like, what is it that you're not forgetting?
I'm not.
What you're not forgetting is how I'm on the cash stand and I look over and all three of you guys are in the fitting room. Why do you need to go in the
I
fitting
wasn't
room?
in the fitting room. I had my hand on the door, and the door was open. My job is to tell them how they look in the jeans so they can buy them. What am I supposed to say?
Such
They
a
say,
great
"How does this look?
episode.
How do the jeans look?" "Oh, I can't look at you. Sorry, my wife is behind the counter."
You were in the fitting room.
Bro, I just
can't
had
look.
one question. Did you make the sale?
Heck yeah, I made the sale.
Oh, man. Good job.
Both the twins got jeans.
And I got fired because I went off.
Wow.
But here's the
It
funny
was
thing.
not
Back then it was a time
appropriate.
clock.
It
so
wasn't appropriate.
Back then it was time clock. So I'm like, go punch out and wait for me in the car. We rode together.
This makes no sense. So
Yeah. But she got rehired.
I'm sure she did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Worked out. So that was that.
That's how, that's our story.
True story. That's so.
It's a true story. Yeah,
So-
she got fired a couple of times. She did,
So
man.
wait, did you all leave the mall at the same time? Because I know
Yeah,
the
we
situations
did.
kind of
Yeah, we
escalated
did.
at the mall.
We did because the mall became violent.
Right.
In all seriousness, it wasn't a good environment for us, and it was a physical altercation where, quite honestly, my life was being threatened. Like now that I think about it, that's like crazy over clothes. And
I get emotional just thinking about it because that was one of the scariest moments of my life for me. Because I really thought something was going to happen to you. And all I could think to do, was to call your mom. I didn't know what else to do. I called your mom and I told her there was an altercation, there was a threat, and what was going on. And she said, "Everything's going to be okay. Put my son on the phone." And so I said, "It's your mom."
I'm at work, man. I'm the manager. I'm like, "Hey," and she's like, "Let us pray."
That's
the first
immediately
thing
what
she said.
Yeah, she said, "I'll never forget it." And I'm like, "Mom, I'm at work." She was like, "It's okay. You keep your eyes open."
She was very calm too. I'm telling her I'm frantic. I'm very upset. And when she let me finish and she said, "Everything's going to be okay. Put my son on the phone." She was so calm.
Yeah, I know you said it was over clothes, so I'm assuming someone was stealing clothes.
Yep. And I was trying to stop him from stealing. I was actually trying to talk reason with him. Like, hey, man, if you steal the coat, I'm going to have to call security. You don't get arrested. It's not worth it over the coat. Right. So that's kind of how that started, man. But I wish I could remember my mom's prayer because perhaps she prayed that God would shut one door and open another because that door shut at that moment.
Right.
And us working at the mall. Like, literally, we stopped working at the mall together because I'm not going to leave her there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when she got a job in her major at the cable station. Her major was broadcast journalism, as you know. And so she got a job at the cable station, and I started seeking out some other things. I just didn't know what. And I answered the ad in the paper. And that's how I was introduced to the industry of network marketing.
Wow.
Yeah.
But the ad didn't say anything about network.
No, not at all.
Did it?
Nope. It says sports minded. Keep doing what you're doing.
But
Keep
it
doing
was
what
an
you got.
interview.
Yeah,
You thought you were going to an
It
interview.
says marketing.
Wow.
It says sports minded. And it says if you keep doing what you're doing, you keep getting what you got.
So we were very excited that you had an interview.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it even said no experience necessary. And then when I went in for what I thought was going to be an interview, they said, so what do you do now? I mean, they were so good, man. And I said, I managed that store for years. They were like, oh, you're perfect. You're perfect for this. You got management experience. You're going to be amazing here. Wow. And so when I finished the interview, they were like, so to start the management position, you have to purchase a certain amount of product because in business, you got to have inventory. So they started breaking down business and what it meant to be a national distributor and regional distributor and how products make it from the manufacturer to the end user and how we're going to cut out all the distributors, the national, because typically things go through, from wholesale to, so they said, we're going to cut all that out, take it straight from the manufacturer to the consumer, and you get all the profit in the middle that normally goes to all these distribution networks.
So do you remember when you were sitting there in your interview, do you remember thinking, this is ingenious? I'm so excited. Were you skeptical? What were you feeling at that time? Do you even remember?
No, I remember getting excited because they told me there was unlimited income potential and they had some testimonies of people who had had success.
Wow.
And I remember those two guys. Like I can vividly see their faces right now. I can even tell you their names. And I remember saying, I was like, okay. And
because it was believable.
Yep. And then I went home and told your dad about it. I was the first person I told about it.
Really?
Yep. And he was like, well, sounds to me like some of those companies back in the day, Darnell, like Amway, and he started like naming companies. He was like, but guess what? He wasn't discouraging.
Yeah.
He was like,
that's good stuff.
He was not discouraging, man. He's like, if anybody can do it, son, you can do it.
Wow.
And I wonder if he had not said, that
was my question too, because so many people run into that very first no from someone who's close to them, someone who loves them, someone who they respect.
Yep.
And clearly,
wow.
Look, because I know he is, I'm about to say Pop. Like, clearly you respected Pop. So if he had said something different, do you think it would have been a different outcome for you?
And the other question I have is, why was that your person?
Yeah, why was he the first person?
Why? Because you said, your dad was the first person. I didn't know that, but why was my dad your person that you went to?
Yeah, I wish I could remember. I think it was because after the interview, you were there and I came over your parents' house. And I just happened to talk to him because he's easy to talk to. And, her dad, man, is just... Yeah.
He probably asked, how was your day? What did you do today? Mm-hmm. All those things. I can hear him.
He is the person, because we're speaking about him and why I believe that part of the man that I've become is because how I learned to love other men through him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like my dad was, you shake a hand, like you ain't gonna hug. Because that's just not that was right or wrong. It's just different.
Right.
And so, but your dad, you're gonna get a hug.
Right.
You're gonna get a hug, you're gonna get a I love you.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen that before. I used to tell your brother Robert, he's like, I love you, son. I'm like, oh man. Like my dad had never told me that. Not that I didn't think he loved me, he just didn't say it.
It's funny, like I'm listening to this, and of course, when you introduced me, obviously to Traci, and then to her family as we started in business together, it was so key for me to see that, like to meet Pop. That's why I call him Pop to this day, right? To see that same level of affection, I was telling somebody recently, man, I remember when we were taking the kids to the movie and we used to go like 40 deep to the movie. And I'm like, who goes with 40 people to see a kid movie with kids? But it'd be a whole group of adults, kids, cousins, family. And that was just so drastically different than what I was used to.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is before, now there's baby reveals and there's all type of things like gender reveals.
Right.
And you do have men show up. But this is before that was popular.
Right. No, you're talking about somebody giving birth. I'm talking about Shrek.
Right,
we were going to see a movie.
No, what I'm saying is that, you're absolutely right. I'm just saying that
such a drastic difference.
In Traci's family, men were showing up at all the things that normally only women show up.
That's my point. My point is everything was big.
Everything.
Like every single event was an event.
Yeah.
And so how did that, because you already mentioned that you didn't grow up in that same type of environment, going into that environment, because I remember first time going into, your parents' home, cell phone, there was a basket that you sat your phone in.
Yes.
And everybody know I got like 3 or 4 phones. So back then I was like,
once
I
you
can't
came in the
part with
door, my mom made you put your cell
literally
phone
put
in
your
the
phone
basket.
in the basket.
She doesn't do that anymore, but she still doesn't allow cell phones at the table when we're having dinner together.
But it changed so much for me. All those little subtleties of seeing just how important family was and to be intentional about being in the moment. It wasn't, even if it was 25 people, your mom broke out the good china. I'm talking about the china that's usually in the china
My
cabinet.
mom and dad eat
in the
on
black
that
community.
every day.
That
And it's just the
blew
two
me
of
away.
them.
Right.
Like that blew me away to be in the moment. So obviously I know the impact they've had on you, but what are some of the impacts or some of the things that you've passed on to your kids as a result of not so much what they've said, but just what you've seen?
Mm-hmm.
I have seen it in their choice of friends, who they choose to hang around, who they talk to, who they spend their time with. And I've also, our kids, I think that they watched family.
Right.
And they watched us together, and that's what they wanted to be a part of and be around when they weren't at home. So I think that a lot of their choices of who they are connected to is a huge deal because of that.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. And one of the things, and you mentioned it, how we always travel deep with our family. And now we realize our kids want to be around us. They're like, all right, we are going this weekend, mom and dad. It's like so different. And they don't mind their friends hanging out with us.
Right.
Right. So sometimes, like, oh, I'm gonna be with my friends. So they were like, can all of our friends come too? And we love it because, we're at a place where we can say, yeah, they can come.
So here's my question, because so often people do that, or I know it's easier to do that when you don't have a lot of resources. So people get together and you can play games, things that don't cost a lot. But now the things that you all do and them taking their friends, like, yeah, we're talking about flights. We're talking about, just all types of activities, whether it's a game where you're buying all the tickets. Like, how has that changed for you?
I think we've always been that couple.
That's what I was going to say. It's always been in the heart. So whatever's in your heart, you just do it on a bigger level when you have the opportunity, right? When we were broke, we didn't have any money, like barely could go to the grocery store, he would always bring me something thoughtful. My favorite dessert was Bob's Big Boy, the hot fudge sundae cake, brownie cake. He would bring that home to me. That cost like $3 back then.
$1.99 was a special.
$1.99. Oh yeah. But what I'm saying is it was always in his heart to do.
Yeah.
So then when he could do more, it was a better gift. And then it was a better gift. And it was a car. Like wherever level he is, it's the same. It's just a bigger gesture.
Well, and here's the thing I love about the opportunities we have today is that you're interviewing us now, so we're talking about it. We don't have to talk about it. Like, I love that. Like yesterday, one of Milan's friends was over, and we were, I don't know how we got on the subject, but she was like, I don't even have a passport. I've never been on a flight before. I said, really? She's like, no. I said, get your passport. Our next family trip, you're going. And she said, no way. I said, oh yeah. And she's amazing. We've always given her a ride to the bus stop when Milan. So they've
grown up together.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
She said, my family has taken amazing road trips. We do things together, but we've never been on a flight.
Wow.
Yeah.
And just knowing Milan, when she went on her first field trip, right? It just shows how much she's traveled. She assumed that it was on a plane.
Right.
Because she's flown from birth.
Yeah, she told her dad was going on a field trip with her as a chaperone. And she said, Dad, you have to hurry up. We're going to miss our flight. And is there a layover? She was in kindergarten.
I said, it's a bus.
He said, what have we done?
Bus. But she's a sweetie. She's a
No,
sweetie.
she absolutely is. That's my guy, baby. But
Hey, I know this is your podcast.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go out to your sponsors.
And then we'll be right back.
Hey, family, when was the last time you got a chance to wear something meaningful? Whether it was today, last month, or never. I want you to understand that Jack Design has a message that will resonate with each of you. Each and every design is intended to inspire action while reminding us to wear art. You can mix metal with a flower and wear the Steel Rose collection. You can unleash your creative genius, or you can participate in our legacy with the Signature collection. Here's what I need you to do. Go visit their website and peruse the gallery. Make sure you put in Don't Quit 22 in the promo code so you can receive that 10% discount just for being a part of the We Won't Quit podcast family. Go out and check out Jack Design. You will not be disappointed. All right, welcome back to the We Won't Quit podcast, and I guess the Self-Talk Experience podcast.
It's called a collaboration,
Yes,
Bestie.
yes, that's not how this was supposed to go down. But I'm just thrilled because so many people get to see you all. You've been on stages with 10, 20,000 people. You've built an organization of hundreds of thousands of people. Your team has been paid $500 million, like cash, that you've helped, individuals change their life, me included. But I also remember some of the lean times, some of those moments. What would you say was one of the most pivotal moments in your life back before all of this success?
One of the pivotal moments for me is when Darnell was still trying to figure out being an entrepreneur. So I was working, and I was working at Black Entertainment Television, and I got up for work and walked out the door, and my car wasn't out there. And I ran back in the house and I said, "Babe, somebody stole my car." And he was just sitting there. And I was like, "Babe," and I'm frantic. I was like, "Someone stole my car. What do we do?" And he said, "No one stole your car." And I said, I was so confused. And he said, "It's been repossessed." And that was a moment for me, like, something has to happen. Something has to happen. And it was very scary for me. And I didn't know what to do with those feelings. I've never been in that place before. And I knew we weren't doing well, but I said, we'll be okay. Everything's going to be fine. I just didn't know what to do.
How did you maintain that level of trust during that moment? Because so many men and women, when they find themselves in that place where you're working, he's building the dream for the family. And I know you were working more than one job, even at that time. How did you still continue? And you're already answering it because I know it's in you, but how did you continue when so many people, it's so easy to walk away. Like, we walk away from everything.
Because the look on his face said everything to me. And a look on his face said, "I'm sorry, but I know I can do it," all at the same time. And so I just said, okay, I just need to get to work. And I'm not even sure how I got to work that day. But when I got to work, my boss, I was running late. And I remember my boss, Veronica Hutchinson, shout out to Veronica Hutchinson. She saw my face and she said, "Is everything okay?" And I just started crying. She said, "Come in my office." And I went in her office and told her what happened. And she said, "It's okay. Go home. It's okay. We'll figure it out tomorrow. You shouldn't be here today. Go home and figure out your family." Mm. And I will always be indebted to her for that moment. She probably has no idea about that for me, but I just knew that I know that when you are in a marriage, you're not always going to be able to give a 50-50. And there's going to be times when somebody has to do 90 or 95 because somebody just has that 5%. And when I looked at my husband in that moment, I said, he only has 5%. And we have a family and children, so I'm going to have to do this 95 right now. And I don't know why. I don't know what, but it was the look. And I just did it. And there have been plenty of times when I was on 5 and he had to come with the 90. That's just what you do. It's just what you do. But again, it goes back to my dad.
Right.
Because I watched my dad do it. Yeah. And I saw something in him that I saw in my dad. That's why he was my choice.
Choice. the definition of choice, I always say, is the voluntary act of doing that which is preferred.
Yeah.
That's such a powerful story. I mean, we're in a time now where people will see a meme on social media and they will leave that family, that job, that whatever it is, that instant gratification.
Yeah.
And so to see where you all are now is just, it's amazing. And I think that's why your story is so relatable, is because you've gone through so many situations like that.
Yeah.
How did you feel? Especially when she came back home from work.
Yeah.
Like, you were like, baby, you ain't get fired, did you? Like,
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I think I blanked that.
I was going to say, do you remember?
No. I think I blocked that out, man. It was a tough time, right? Because I felt like it was a disappointment to her, to my mom. You know, it was a really tough time. And I almost stopped believing in myself. I was right there where you're like, you know what? I'm not meant to be an entrepreneur.
and what changed? Like, what do you think kept you going?
Well, a couple of different things. But I remember during that time looking for jobs to do just at night, like at the airport, sweeping up, like literally, bro, like
Right, just anything.
And thankfully, I had some good people around me, and I kept reading, and there was some self-discovery, self-reflection. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, we got to take a strong look in the mirror and say, you know what? Okay, this all happened for a reason. Because back then I wasn't saying it happened for me.
Right.
But I was like, it happened for a reason.
Right.
I've always said that.
Right.
And so you can, in a situation like that, you can put your head under the covers or put the pillow over your head and pretend like it doesn't exist and hope it'll go away. Mm-hmm. Or you just come out swinging. And I decided to come out swinging nonstop, and I wouldn't stop. And I lost sleep. I got fat. You know what I mean? I wasn't going to the gym. Anything I can cut out,
right,
so that I could do more of whatever would produce income. That's what I did.
You must have came out swinging with a machete, because you literally cleared the pathway for so many people.
Yes.
Like, you
man.
think
I'm
about
grateful.
that. No, I mean, for myself included, like the Humes family tree is completely different. Our legacy is different. And that's true for thousands of others, whether you get a chance to see them or not. So I'm grateful that,
Yeah, I'm grateful, man.
that you
I'm
went through
thankful.
those struggles and that you were there to go through those struggles with them. And you guys are stronger. Come on, give me that hand too. I love you. But look, there's nothing else that can be said, that will be said. I look forward to having you guys back.
Look forward
on
to
the
it.
We Won't Quit podcast, because
Self-talk.
this is
Talk experience.
the We Won't Quit podcast. You already hear the stuff he was saying to himself back in the day. He didn't quit. Did he not quit? You ain't quit, did you?
It's impossible to stop a man or woman who will not quit as long as they're saying the things to themselves about themselves so that they can attract what they want for themselves. It's been another self-talk experience.
Make sure you tune in on Thursday, not Friday.
See, this is what I've been dealing with. Man, if y'all ain't make me rich, I don't know what I would do with y'all, man. I love y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out. Another episode. Take care. God bless. Peace.